Hi, my name is Jeremy, and on this channel I talk about color and light. Today I want to talk about what progress looks like as an artist. Some of you have written to me expressing that it's more difficult than you thought to try these color studies. So I want to give you some encouragement to show you what other artists have done and kind of where you should be at as a beginner artist. If you've painted for years and you're comfortable with working with a tablet or doing digital, or if you're doing traditional art and you know your medium, it's going to be a lot easier to start seeing color and light. But if you're a beginner, you're going to have to give yourself some grace to get up to speed. I highly suggest that you don't paint with a mouse, that you should get a tablet of some kind to be able to paint with, an iPad, an Apple Pencil if you can afford it, or just a Wacom tablet. Get used to it, learn to paint with this. A lot of the people that I paint with struggle with it at first, kind of getting that hand-eye coordination. Give yourself some grace. Do several paintings until you get to that point where you're like, okay, I've got this down, I'm comfortable with it, and now I can start to observe the actual color and light and not just be struggling with the tool. I asked some of my artist friends, can I share your work so that my friends on YouTube can see your progress? And they were very gracious. So thank you to all of my friends who allowed me to show their artwork. Here is a photograph of my friend Lisbeth's cat. And I think there's a lot of interesting color and light. There's subtleties of warm and bloom and glow and the shape, and there's so much richness here. So here are some drawings, some paintings that were done within 1 hour, no color picking, just a study of light from this original photograph, and after the hour, where my friends got with how far they could push this. Notice the amount of variety in final result and in style and interpretation from this original, and some are closer than others at observing details, but everybody's giving it a try. And this is great. This is a really great start. And I promise you that doing this every week or doing it multiple times a week, if you're really wanting to grow, do this daily. Spend 1 hour daily, or even 10 minutes, and do some studies and do some studies and do some studies to where it becomes very comfortable. This is a photograph from my friend Devin, and look at the variety of, these are the studies by some of my friends, the variety of choices that were made in color and in shape and in texture, all from this original photo, just trying to observe from their eyes what they saw from this, and the huge variety of outputs that you get from the different people that are doing the same study at the same time. This is an image by a guy named Alexander Jacob, who is a painter in the 1800s. So again, here's some of my friends' paintings in that hour. Everybody's pushing themselves to learn something new, and they're really trying. And I can say that a lot of these friends who've never painted before, they're really pushing themselves, and they can have fun with this. They can learn. They'd be like, man, that was so hard, but it's so fun. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to learn from this and do it again. We're going to put on some good music. We're going to laugh together. We're going to not take this seriously. We're not making portfolio pieces here. We are just doing studies to learn and grow on a weekly, regular basis, like doing that regular exercise. Let's look at one more. So here's a painting by a guy, Bill Cramer, who did this in oil. There's a link below to where I found his artwork online. I don't know Bill, I wish I did. He's really a phenomenal painter. Here's some studies that were done off of this wonderful artwork. I would like to make some observations about what challenges beginner painters have when doing studies. The first one is thinking like a printer, and starting at the top, working your way through an image is not really a useful way to do art. It's like saying you're not going to do any study, no references. It all has to come out of your head, and each, pixel has to be perfect, right when you start. And that's a big mistake. Start blobby, work in those details, start, loose. So you'll notice in some of these that some people only get the beginning, colors put into this as they start. They see the big colors, and that's enough. That's okay. They're just trying to get the tones at all on the page. Do they match at all? And struggling with, how do I pick colors? Finding the color that I see and then knowing what that is in the color wheel, that takes time, that takes practice. So some people in that short period of time of a color study don't quite hit it dead on, but they're trying. And their images, will look a little bit flatter at the start. And then the more you get used to this, the more practice you have, the more you'll see subtle details. little tiny rocks and little shifts in hue and tone and saturation. It takes time. Give yourself some grace. One of the other common things that I see that people do is they don't fill the canvas with color right from the start. They leave white on the canvas. And there's a thing called relative color where one color will look a certain way on white and it'll look a completely different way on black. And you've got to put down as much color as you can at first to match the whole image. This is why I promoted the idea of starting with just if you could just do one color, fill it in with that whole color. Now, if you only had 2 colors to make this image, put those 2 colors. Keep putting all of the colors over the whole canvas the entire time, rather than starting at the top, working your way down, or leaving a lot of white blank space. And that'll really help you get faster at this. And then the last tip that I'm going to give you is, I have a Pinterest account that I would like to share, and I'm going to put a link down below. But I have a grouping of images that I call Amazing Light, where it's a collection of images that I find inspiring from all over the internet, and I've been saving these for a few years now, and there are hundreds upon hundreds of images that you can use as color studies. And then you'll learn themes from these and really observe what is the light, what is the color, what were the artists doing in these images. There's photographs, there's paintings, there's digital illustrations, there's oil paint, there's studies from film. There's a whole bunch of things in here, and I hope that you can find these as, a place to go to find images to do studies from. What makes things look really beautiful? What are those themes? Doing these studies will help you observe them. Just want to encourage you all, you can do this. You apply your time, you absolutely will be able to paint and learn from this, and your art will increase. And this is not something that's going to take 10 years. I promise you, if you do studies all the time, just in a couple of months, you will see progress. My friends who do this every single week, within 3 to 6 months, see their artwork increase, and they've gotten so much better. If you do this daily or 5 times a week or something like that, you're going to see your artwork, expand even faster. Trust me, this is the fastest way to learn about color and light, is just doing studies again and again and again and again and again and observing. So keep painting, keep creating, and thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.